Guys, just getting back home from World Cup finals here, and well, it's good, but also bad. Like I said, we didn't get much racing in today because there were a couple accidents that had to be taken care of. Cars break. I thought Victor Alvarez was one of them. I could be wrong about that. I didn't even know he was there. I don't even know how many cars he has. I know he has the pro model we seen in the other video, but anyway, that's not the point. So glad I got to see Leroy today. I was this close, or should I say, we were this close to getting to see Eagle run because right before the rain came, the first pair of cars from Outlaw versus Extreme came up there. And I think Eagle was next in line behind them, or not the car before, after that. Might have been two cars after that. So after the rain finally came and they were clearing the track before I made that video, the video. They were pulling those cars off of the track. And right at the last second, it's funny, I actually saw the spark before I saw Eagle. So all I did was wave to Eagle and I said, "Bye, Eagle. See you next year." So didn't even come down the track. I was hoping it would because I know he would have got a big cheer from the crowd if he brought it down the track where the rest of the guys are pulling their cars at. But that didn't happen. So I guess another good news for that is not much editing work for you to do, Cletus, for today's video. He only actually made one pass, and the only car that made a pass today was Leroy. So Eagle, I guess he might have did a cold start on it. Other than that, it never made a pass. So it's great. I guess that car will be ran maybe about 2 to 3 more times, and then it'll be put away until next year around this time, apparently, since it looks like that's what happened this year. So, yeah, but World Cup, for me, was almost basically money wasted because, like I said, I had to pay almost twice the amount of what I usually pay. I think it's usually like $25 for 2 days. Now that you got to buy it in advance, it was end up being $75 for 2 days. So Saturday was good. It was good. I got really no complaints about Saturday. Sunday, I'm happy, at least for me, since I'm not an early person. I got there just in time for them to actually start racing, so I didn't miss anything, as you all see in the video. The bad thing is, like I said, for everybody else that got there that early, they didn't really get to see much of anything, and they got there early. So I do feel more bad for them. However, I feel more bad for myself as well because it got dark, but it was only like what 7:30 to 8 o'clock, which is still fairly early compared to we usually get out of there with those cars trying so freaking hard and how cold it gets. A lot of those cars blow up. Some of them rotary cars do, and a lot of them Civics do. That we usually don't get out of there till a little past midnight. So there was plenty of racing still to be done, and we just were getting into the second round. So it was a lot of racing still to go, and it got rained out. And this is the first time that has ever happened to me going to this race at World Cup that has ever got rained out. I think they were announcing that it's the first time it's happened to them in a very long, I think maybe about 15 years or so, maybe longer than that, that has gotten rained out there. So, and I don't know how that was going to work. I mean, we already attended, so I'm pretty sure from this point we don't get refunds and shit. I don't know if that would have been a different case had we would have bought the tickets at the gate, which apparently no longer, because of the fans, you can no longer get your tickets at the gate. So don't plan on doing that anymore. You cannot get your tickets at the gate. So yeah, I'm sorry, not World Finals. World Cup was disappointing for me as far as Sunday. Saturday was enjoyable. I got everything I wanted to get done Saturday. I got to meet all Cleese's crew, Cameron. I got, everybody from Sam, Zach, Ty, Cameron Johnson. I didn't talk to Pete though. I didn't really care much about him because he's not on camera that much. I just said, Cameron, thank you for building, great job with Eagle, man. It's perfect. I got no complaints about that car. Neither does Cletus. Um, and I did talk to Cletus, and I pointed out as I made the video, I said, look, the other car pulling that was that Pontiac up there to the line. I said, look, there's Crouton behind it. He said, laugh. He said, look, George, Crouton's over there. So, and another thing I mentioned to Zach, and was that, so, y'all could have also brought, like I mentioned in the video earlier, y'all could have brought Ruby up here, and you could have brought the Rat Rod Super up here. And Zach said, no, those cars aren't competitive like that anymore. So apparently there's a different setup in the Ruby now, because Ruby did pretty good there when it was there before. So it's a different setup in it now. The Rat Rod Super, I know they keep screaming, or at least Cletus keeps saying how fast it is, but we've yet to see when it runs in the quarter mile with the sequential shifter in it. So I don't know if it is capable or not, but apparently from what Zach's been saying, it's not. So we're stuck with those four, and McFlurry, it just seems to have bad luck at World Cup. It just does not like it there. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it broke anything last year. I don't think it did. Or did it? I forgot. But anyway, I'm happy that I got to meet the whole crew there. I got to meet all the cars. And the only thing I didn't get to hear was the Eagle start up in person. I heard it, go down the track and all that, but I wanted to hear it start up in person. I saw in the video yesterday that I got there right after Cletus Cole started it. So it is what it is. I'm happy with what I got to, chat with, and Ty's been doing good and all that. So I'm glad I got to catch up with the crew there. So you have to wait and see them all again next year. I wish you all a safe trip back down the road. And looking for some more content. And then I guess pretty soon, after they got this overtrack race coming up, then we'll get to see the cheap car challenge. And Ty said they haven't got too much further than what they already made content of. So there's no background content of it because they haven't made any. So I said, okay, cool. We haven't really missed much. So that's it for World Cup, guys. That's the only Drax race I'm attending this year as well as last year. Probably the same thing. I may try to go when they get the NHRA down there. It just depends. We'll see how it goes. But other than that, yeah, that's the last thing car related for the year. Nothing else to talk about. I just talked about Cleese videos. So anyway, talk to you guys later. And hell yeah, brother.